I'll take over a little bit until Rob's connection comes back on. But we are excited to have Belinda on the show, and kind of what I said earlier in my video that she's kind of like a pillar in this community with just how much she supports everyone. Yes, you are. Just she gives everyone so much support in this community, and she makes videos that are very real. If you ever watch her videos, then you'll know that she just comes out and tells it like it is. She's very honest. If she doesn't do something, she'll say, well, I know I had a gain this week because of this, and I know what I'm going to take care of. She doesn't try to sugarcoat the journey at all. So I just always appreciate watching her. And she's funny, too, so that always helps in watching someone's videos.
Well, I like being funny.
So
I can't believe we're having this much problems. I think Rob might have come back on, but he's frozen on my screen. I can't. He's not moving.
this is the magic of Google. It looks like Rob may be coming back on, but like I said, this is the magic of Google and how it is and what we deal with every week.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is just, Belinda, ask you to just kind of tell us about your journey just from the beginning. You don't have to go from the beginning till today, but just kind of let us get to know you a little bit better.
Well, as with probably most people who've had a weight issue, I've had it most of my life. And it didn't, well, it's always bothered me, but it didn't really become an issue probably until about the last 10 to 12 years, where I got up to 332 pounds. I was basically immobile. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hang out with my friends. I couldn't go to family functions. I felt uncomfortable in my skin. I didn't want to be around anybody. I just didn't feel normal. I felt the epitome of what the word abnormal means. I felt like that's what I was. So, and my medical issues just kept getting worse and worse and worse. COPD, sleep apnea, arthritis in both my knees, just every kind of medical issue that an overweight or an obese person would have, I had. High blood pressure, all of it, And I went to a doctor's appointment last year, a follow-up actually, for my COPD, and my PCP said, hey, I think you're a prime candidate for weight loss surgery. Have you ever considered it? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to reroute my entire system just to lose weight because I just don't, because you can't reverse it. At the time, I thought he was talking about RMY because you can't reverse any of them, but RMY is like the golden seal of weight loss surgery, and I didn't want to do that, so I told him flat out, no, I didn't want to do it. And he begged me, and he said, you need to go home, think about it, talk about it with your family, discuss it with your friends, and see what they say. And I was very surprised that every single person I talked to was like, go for it, do it. You got to do this because we don't like seeing you like this. And something my sister said to me probably a couple months before that, she said she had a nightmare that all she had left of me was a size 5X shirt. That's all she had left to remind me of me after I passed because my obesity killed me. And I decided that right then and there when she said that, I was like, I have to do it because I've tried every single route there has to take. Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, I tried that 4 times and it didn't work. I tried Fin in 97, that didn't work. I tried doing it on my own, eating right, exercising, and it worked, but I couldn't maintain it. I mean, it was very difficult for me to maintain it because as soon as I had one little bitty carb, I wanted to eat the whole thing every day from that point on, and I just fell off and didn't get back on. But now, through the support of this community and the weight loss surgery, I've been able to make changes in my life, and thanks to Rob, a lot of thanks to Rob for keeping it real, because when I keep it real with myself, that means I can keep it real with y'all, and then in turn it comes back on me. And it's, I don't know, it's hard to describe. I'm not as articulate as I'd like to be when I'm asked questions, but that was part of the reason why I was nervous about coming on, because I wanted to be able to be like I am in my videos and be up front and tell people what I mean and say what I mean. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that does. And I think it's definitely a different environment with people who are going to be asking questions and things, but
yeah.
At least
but
you
y'all
have
are my friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's everybody who supports you anyway. And
wow.
one thing that you just said before I even get to the other questions that I had is that
Mm-hmm.
people supported you in the beginning. That's something that we rarely hear. Most people say that they had to fight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
their spouse didn't want to do it. This one was concerned. Someone else was crying that you're going to die on the operating table. I mean,
Yeah.
why do you think it was different for you and you received so much support in that direction?
Well, I did receive a lot of support. I received it not, outside the square box, and I received it inside too. But my family and my friends, they had those concerns. We discussed it. We talked about it. My parents mainly, my parents were already afraid that I was going to stroke out or have a heart attack in my sleep anyway.
Mm.
Because I smoked. I was 332 pounds. I ate constantly. I never slowed down. I was like a runaway train every single day. Every day for me was like a party. Let's go get some food. Every day, that's what it was like for me. I was killing myself slowly every day. So those questions did come up. I had to quit smoking, 4 months before my surgery, and my parents got to talk to my surgeon. They got to meet him. They know what he was like. They knew they could trust him, and my surgeon is a Christian, and he's open to me and any family or friends I had to come in and ask him questions before I had the surgery too. It made them they felt very comfortable with me having the surgery because they knew all the facts. I just wasn't throwing it at them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing and y'all gonna like it or you're not. But I did get their support wholeheartedly, but they did have questions and they did have concerns. I mean, it is surgery. Uh-oh. People are freezing up. You're all freezing up.
Uh, hopefully, you at least can hear. Um,
I can hear you.
okay, so when before, I mean, you talked about that every day was a party, but you also talked about some
Hmm.
of the health problems that you had. So try to like
Hmm.
describe a typical day as far as just trying to get around and do
Oh my
things that you
God.
do now easily. Like how was it like living in that 330-pound body?
Hell. It was like this ninth circle of hell. That's what it was like for me. I mean, I know there are people who weighed quadruple what I weighed, but for me, in a 5'5" frame, my body was not meant to carry that type of weight around. My bones were screaming every day, "What the hell are you doing? Quit eating! You're killing us!" Every day, that's what it was like. So I could hear the back of my head. But yet I couldn't stop myself when I walked by something I wanted to eat. I was like, I gotta have it, and I ate it, and that's just the way that it was. That's what my life was. I mean, I couldn't go for walks with my family. I couldn't ride a bike. I couldn't get on roller skates. I couldn't go on picnics because I couldn't go to the mountains and hike. I couldn't go to Clingman's Dome. I couldn't go grocery shopping. I couldn't bend over and tie my own shoes. I couldn't. My sex life suffered. Every aspect of my life suffered. Everything from the minute I got up to the minute I went to bed, it suffered. But when you're in that frame of mind, I just didn't care. I just didn't care. I wanted to eat, and it was soothing what was wrong with me on the inside. And I still don't know really what is wrong with me on the inside. There's still issues I have that still cause me, like Rob said, I still binge eat every now and then. Like I think I told Rob yesterday, I had a whole bag of chocolate raisins yesterday because I wanted them. And I didn't want to deprive myself of them, but that's the one time in a long time that I didn't practice moderation. But now my life is different in the fact that I can go do anything I want to do. Because I consider you all regular people, because y'all are regular weight, just normal average people. I can go do everything that you guys can go do. I can get on a roller coaster. I can walk the mall. I can go do my own grocery shopping. I can go to the clothing stores. I can babysit my goddaughters, kids. I can stand up and brush my teeth for more than 1 minute. I couldn't do that before, and that was very hard for me to accept that I couldn't stand up and brush my own teeth. I had to sit to brush my teeth. I had to sit to wash dishes. I had to sit to do just about everything. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But now I can, and that's something me and my fiance talk about a lot. Is he thinks I'm a slave driver because now that I can do stuff, I want to do it all the time. I don't never want to stop. I'm always wanting to go, go, go. Always. Just somewhere doing something, being active because I can. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm sure it does, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you get used to your normal, and you
Yep.
don't know. I mean, for me now at my weight, I didn't know how good it could be, and I didn't remember how much harder it was when things were hard. It's like you don't realize it until you're not there anymore, and then you're like,
Yeah.
how did I even get up in the morning? And then you
Yeah.
just don't realize how good it can be. So
And
you
it is.
you had your surgery, and
Mhm.
what surprised you the most? I mean, I probably going into it, you had this idea of what it would be like afterwards. What has surprised you the most about it?
There's a lot of things that surprised me about after having the surgery, about things that I can do now that I couldn't do before. I mean, all of it is a miracle to me, whether it's weight loss surgery or just losing it the traditional way. It's all a miracle if you can have the tenacity to be able to go through and follow through with something. So I guess the thing that surprised me the most about myself after surgery is that I followed through with this. I'm taking my own advice and I'm doing what I need to do to get the job done. I'm using this tool as what it was meant to be for, because it's not a miracle. It's not the easy way out. It is in no means the easy way out, because I still struggle every single day like anybody else does. I mean, when I walk by a candy bar rack, I look at a couple of times and say, you know what, I wouldn't mind having one of those. And I struggle inside my head whether, I get it or I don't. It depends on how my day is, whether I do or whether I don't. And that was, before I had weight loss surgery, I had the same issue. And I still have that same issue. One of the videos I made a long time ago was, my nose ain't broke. I can still smell the food. I can still see the big signs, the golden oranges. I can still see that stuff. I can still smell it, and I still want it. That the surgery doesn't change me wanting it. It just changes how much of it I can eat. And I'm
Belinda,
looking.
I had a question for you regarding your family members and stuff, and we talked a little bit about this privately, but do any of your siblings or your parents have a weight issue, or have they in the past, or were you like the only one out of the group that had an issue?
It goes back and forth. Like right now, my mom has a weight issue, and she never did all the way up until I was about 20. She was 135 pounds. And my dad, he always hovers around about 240, 250, but he's 6'2", so he's not really overweight either. And my sister doesn't really have a weight problem, and I don't have any brothers or anything, just one sister. And she's been, at one time, I think we were teenagers, she weighed a couple 100 pounds, but she got it under control and she's never went back. So there's not really a hereditary thing, or it runs in my family or anything like that. And that also made me worry, because how come I'm the only fat chick in the family? Why did my genes go like that, and everybody else's are normal, and here I am big as a house? Is it just my self-control? Is it my genes? What is it? I mean, my sister's not this way. My mom's not. My dad's not. None of my cousins are. None of my aunts or my uncles. They're all pretty slender and pretty healthy. I was the only one, it felt like, kind of like the black sheep of the family kind of thing. And this is one thing you don't want to be a black sheep about. You do not want to be the big person in the family.
Yeah.
And I was.
Looks like we got some questions coming in. So the first one is going to come in from Lisa, LJB415 Able. And she asked,
Lisa.
How did you meet your chuckle?
Y'all got to promise me y'all won't laugh, because if y'all do, I'll never talk to you or never make another video.
We promise.
I met him on AOL in a Knoxville chat room. And we've been together for 13 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, AOL it's been known to be a meat market when I was actually on there, but it's hey, not my words, that's their words. But he's a good guy, and that's where I met him at. I met him through there. We talked on the phone for about 6 months, because he lived in a different part of Tennessee. He lived in Smyrna. I lived in Knoxville, which is about I think maybe 200 miles away from here in Antioch. And we talked for about 6 months on the phone, and then I talked him into coming down here and moving in with me, and he did. I got it like that, y'all. That's all I can say.
We have a question from Glow Henderson. She
Hey,
said,
Gloria.
do you feel that your sleep will keep you in check so that you will not go back to where you were?
I do believe that it will keep me in check, Gloria, but it ultimately, I'm the one who makes the decision. My VSG is just my tool, because I know you're having the same surgery and you're going to be having it soon, which, woohoo, for you, yay! But yeah, it does keep me in check, but you're ultimately the one in charge of what you do. It's just a tool. You always got to remember, Gloria, it's just a tool. That's all it is. Like exercising is just a tool. Watching what you eat, that's all it. To me, it may not be considered that way to you guys, but I consider all those things a tool. The YouTube community support, that's a tool for me. All of it's all a tool. So yes, it does help, but always remember you're in control.
We got a question that came in from Susan, taming the food beast. I always say her.
You always try to say wild.
Yeah, I don't know where I get that from. Sorry, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
She says, what has been your biggest struggle since having surgery?
Oh Lord, there's been a lot of them. But, the one I'm going through right now is I'm not losing like I want to. I'm more maintaining than I am anything, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like Rob had said earlier, or maybe one of our conversations, that now I know that I can maintain. So if when I do, Lord, not if, but when I do get to my goal, I know that I can maintain it. Because I've been maintaining in the 180s for about 4 months. The highest I've got is 186, and I won't go past that. And the lowest I've got is 182. So I think right now the struggle I have the most is the not losing, but I'm maintaining. And I still got 35 pounds left to go before I reach my own personal goal of 150. Like Julie.
We have a question coming in from Melody, which is Zen one.
Hi, Melody.
And she says, Belinda, did you have a vision of what you would feel/look like now normal? How have your feelings changed, if at all?
Well, I didn't really have anything vision in my head of what I would look like. Because when you lose weight, you just can't tell what you're gonna look like in the end, because when you get to be a certain size, and you're gonna have all this loose skin, and you just don't know what your body's gonna end up looking like. So I didn't have anything set in my mind other than Anna Nicole Smith. Before I had surgery, I always wanted to have a voluptuous, beautiful figure like her. She wasn't thin; she was down the road in the middle. But that again has changed. I really don't have anything set in my mind right now. I just want to be who God wants me to be, who He intends me to be. Whatever He wants my body to look like, that's what it's going to look like, with or without reconstructive surgery. I can't remember the rest. I can't remember the rest of the question. What was the rest of the question?
You answered the question. She just wanted to know if your feelings had changed at all.
A little bit. A little bit.
We have a question from Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Prairie Princess 1. Belinda, I adore you so much from here on the prairie. I would love for you to talk about the excess skin. Is the weight loss worth the excess skin?
Man, I often think about that. That's a really hard one, Tina. I say yeah, because I was so immobile before. I couldn't do anything, and the only thing that the skin at this point physically excludes me from doing is like certain exercises. Because if you see my last video, and I know you did, Tina, because I know you watch just about everything I do. Thank God, because I love your support. And you've seen that big old apron that I'm carrying around. I mean, it hangs down. There's got to be at least 20 or 25 pounds on that area. And when I'm doing my water aerobics, it just swings back and forth. It has a mind of its own, you know, and I can't control it. I don't like wearing shapers because they make me feel uncomfortable in the pool. And so I just have to let it be whatever it's going to be because it's not going to stop me from doing my workout. I can't do that. I mean, but it is worth it to me. It may not be to you. But I gotta say, yeah, it's worth having the skin because the only person who sees me without my clothes on is me and Chuck. So I ain't worried about what anybody else thinks about the way I look, you know, as far as my loose skin, because they can't really see it. Unless I hold my arms up, then they can.
I have a question for you. Was there ever a time, and I'm thinking of Alicia right now, especially what she's going through. She's had a real rough week or so, a little more than a week now.
Yes,
Has there ever been a time, even that early on, where you regretted having the surgery, or you at least questioned having it? Like, did I need to go this far because of whatever was going on?
yes, and do you want me to go into detail about that? Because I can tell you exactly
Yes.
what the moment was when I said what have I done? Because I saw Alicia's video, and when she said that, I knew exactly how she felt because I went through the exact same thing. It's going to be a little TMI, so plug your ears if you don't want to hear it. But everybody knows that when you have weight loss surgery, one of the major complications that you have with it is constipation. And I had constipation from hell. I mean, it was so unforgivingly painful when I was going through that. The first 2 months, it was painful real painful the first 2 months. And every time I went to the bathroom, I was like, God, what did I do? Why did I do this? I would rather be fat than be in this kind of pain. I can't handle this pain. I was begging God to just take me home because I just couldn't handle. That's how bad the pain was for me. I'm a big wuss. I can't handle a lot of pain, okay? And that was pain. And it was in a very horrible area to have that kind of pain. But, yeah, I thought about Alicia when she said that, and I knew what she was going through. And Alicia, if you're watching, it does pass. Everything you're going through and feeling right now is normal, but it will pass. I mean, yours is a little bit different because you had to have open surgery, which if anybody here has had open surgery, they know that it takes twice as long to heal from. It's more painful, and more complications can happen with that, and it's just a horrible. I was hoping she wouldn't have to have it open. I was hoping it'd be laparoscopic because it would have been a lot easier on her. That's why she's having such a hard time now because y'all have seen her videos. That's a great big old huge incision she's got going on. You know, that cannot be, with all the weight that she's carrying on her apron, that cannot be comfortable for that to be hanging down on those staples that she's got in there. I mean, that's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, mine wasn't that big, and I was uncomfortable when I had my weight loss surgery laparoscopically, but a couple months later I had to have my hernia surgery, and it was open. And I could feel her every bit of that. It's rough.
Belinda, I wanted to ask you a question about YouTube in general.
Mm-hmm.
You're someone that calls it like it is, and you always do it in a respectful way. Anyone that knows you would never say something to purposely hurt somebody's feelings.
Nope.
But you don't tap dance around things. You are straightforward and you call it like it is. Having said that, have you had any backlash or issues with people that have followed you on YouTube, calling you out on how forward and honest you are about things?
No, not one person. And I believe the reason why that is because when you're honest and open and forward with people and you do it in a respectful way, they ain't going to have a problem with you. They're going to respect you for being honest and respectful to them and being honest, because if you're like that, then you don't have to worry about that. I've had one hater on here, but that person didn't follow me, but I took care of his butt, so I'm not worried about him. He can hate on me all he wants, because I don't care. I'm me and he's him, and I say what I want to say to him, and then guess what? I blocked him. He's no longer a part of my daily repertoire of anything that I do on YouTube. But no, I've not had any issues with any backlash, because like I said, respect. If you respect me, I respect you. And when you got a respect thing going, no, ain't nothing going to happen.
Well, I think it's a great quality to have, and it is definitely one of the things I absolutely respect most about you.
Well, thank you, thank you. I try.
And I did see. I think it was probably while you were answering that question about your regrets that Alicia is watching, and she actually asked, "How did you make it through the first month of surgery?" And she said she's dying over there. So, like, do you have any advice?
Lord.
How did you do
Let
it?
me tell you, girl. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I watched video after video after video, and I got support from every single one of you guys that's out there that I'm looking at and talking to right now. That's how I got through it. Praying, and my YouTube family and my family outside of this square box, that's how I did it. That's how you'll do it too, Alicia. It can be done. You just got what, tomorrow's your 2-week post-op appointment? And he's probably going to tell you can have some eggs, and that's just going to be like, whoo, like the heavens opened up, and you're just going to be so happy because you're going to get to eat an egg. So you just hold on to that thought that you're going to get to eat that egg, girl, because it's a coming. Like I think Rosemary was talking about you tonight on one of her videos, and she said she can understand what you're talking about, and I can too. So just hang in there and pray, and you know that I'm praying for you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people out here watching you are praying for you too.
I think one of the things with Alicia too, and she's watching, and she can key in and verify this or not from watching her video. I know she's in physical pain, but Alicia has a food addiction, and a lot of hers, I think she said in a roundabout way, she's missing the food, and it's a mental game too that's really, really hard, because I understand what she's talking about with missing the food, and it's almost like that food has died and you're not allowed to have it. But yet your mind is still telling you, and you can actually taste or feel like what it would taste like to eat something at that moment, because you absolutely can't have it because of the medical reasons. So I can't imagine what she's going through in the physical sense of it, but the mental sense of it, I can understand that part of it, and I feel for her very much so.
Mental hunger is a part of everybody's daily journey, whether it's weight loss surgery or traditional, it doesn't matter. But since she's had surgery, Alicia, I'm going to talk directly to you. Your body needs time to heal. If it doesn't heal properly, then you're not going to be as successful as you could be if it doesn't heal. You have to let that body heal and just struggle with the mental stuff. And the only thing you can do is just take it day by day and second by second. Sometimes minuscule second by minuscule second. You just got to break it down and just take it as it comes. There's no other way around it. There just isn't. Just pray and take it one day at a time, because it'll pass. And when you get over that hump of this feeling hungry because of the food addiction, because I can understand that. Eating just shakes and soup, and my first month was horrible. I didn't like it either. I was ready for that egg, and I was ready to have something different and something that I could chew, because all you're doing is liquid, and it sucks. I mean, it really does. But you're going to be so happy that you did this a little later on down. You just have to get through this little hump, and you'll be fine. I promise you, it does get better. Every day it'll get a little bit better. Just hang in there.
We have a question from Susan, Taming the Food Beast. She said, what has your biggest non-scale victory been since losing the weight?
Oh, Lord.
I know you have a lot.
Oh, yeah. Give me a minute, Susan, okay? Okay, I'm going to give you two. The one that I never get tired of every day is I can cross my legs like a woman. That means a lot. Julie will understand that. That means a lot to be able to cross your legs like a woman when you're in public.
I still get excited when I can do that. It never gets old.
Oh, God. It doesn't. It never, ever gets old. No. And I think the second one would probably be just being able to do everything and anything that my little heart desires anytime I want to do it.
Looks like we got a question coming in from Brooke, Crazy Running Mom.
Hey, Brooke.
And Brooke says, have you influenced anyone in your life to lead a healthier lifestyle?
Yep, absolutely. My mom, she's lost, I think, 35 pounds. We go do water aerobics at least 3 times a week if we can. Chuck has lost 95 pounds since I started my journey a year ago. My sister's starting to get on the bandwagon, and both my goddaughters are, and my best friend's trying too. I mean, I don't think I would say I would influence them. They just watching what the changes I've made and see how happy I am. They're happy to see me happy, and then when they see me happy, they want to be that happy too. Because I think, I don't think Chuck's listening. I think that Chuck might have thought that when this weight started coming off, that I was going to take off and leave him and do all kinds of stuff, and he'd be in the background just sitting at home like I was. So I think he got on the bandwagon and said, that ain't happening. Mm-hmm. So he's doing it with me. I mean, we go take the dogs for a walk together, and we just do stuff that couples do, but it's more physical now. We can get out and do stuff together because, you know, he weighed 421 pounds when he started. I mean, that's a pretty big boy, but he is 6'5". But yes, there's a lot of people around me who are changing the way they're doing. And they call me the food police, but I guess I'll hold that badge proudly because I'm on them all the time, telling them how they could eat this, how they could cook things differently. You know, like instead of sauteing vegetables in butter or oil, I tell them to take 98% fat-free chicken broth, put it in your pan with a little bit of water, and kind of boil them instead of sauteing them. Then you don't have all that fat from the grease. Sometimes they get irritated with that, though, but I still tell them.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah.
Question from James, RNY guy. He says, Belinda,
Hi, James.
You mentioned being a Christian. How has your faith played a role in your journey, if it has at all?
It has, absolutely, because God is the only reason why I had the second opportunity to have this surgery, because it was meant for me to have it. I really wholeheartedly felt that it was meant. God wanted me to change my life, and He put this in my path, in my way, for me to change my life. I don't think that God thought that I could do it any other way, and this is the way He saw fit for me to do it. It may not be true, but that's how I like to believe it, because my God is a good God. And there is absolutely no way that He was going to let me suffer any more than what I was already suffering. That was it. He was done seeing me suffer. And I was suffering too much, and He didn't want to, and he didn't want to see me suffer anymore. So I just didn't want to suffer. But so I played a big role in the choice that I made to have the surgery and to continue every day, because if I just don't want to let anybody down, it'd be Him, because He gave me the second opportunity to do this. Because through Him, I couldn't do anything anyway, you know. So yes, He plays a big part in it.
We have a question from Zen Maiden, and she says, what gives you the most motivation to keep going forward? And there's, of course, a couple other parts, so I'll just let you answer that part first.
What keeps me going is I don't ever want to not be an active person anymore. I don't ever not want to be able to, you know, if somebody calls me up and says, hey, let's go here or let's go there. And like I think it was a year and a half ago, my best friend called me up and said, let's go to the mountains and get in the cold water, because I had never been in the Smoky Mountains. I had never been in the water up there. It's really cold. And I told her no. I lied to her and told her I was sick and I didn't feel good. But the reason why I didn't go is because I knew it was going to be a hassle for me to have to walk and hike the hills to get to where I had to go to be there, and it was going to be hot and I was going to be uncomfortable. And so I just lied to her and told her I was sick. And I didn't like doing that, but I don't know if anybody can relate to that one or not. But that's one of the reasons why I don't want to go back. Because I don't want to not be active anymore, because I'm enjoying myself way too much. That's the main reason right there.
And then
I just don't want to go back.
asks, what exercise has helped you lose the most, and is there any exercise that you want to try that you haven't yet?
Well, in the beginning, I did a lot of the Wii Just Dance and Wii tennis and things like that, and that helped me a lot. But I have to say now, I getting kind of bored with just doing the same thing over and over, so I'm trying to do different things, like walking the dog, doing the water aerobics, doing the Wii, cleaning, just anything I can do, because I don't know about you guys, but I get real bored real quick. And if I get really bored with something, I'll stop doing it like immediately. So
I've changed up my exercises throughout my whole journey. I finally found running I love. I think it's important to keep trying different things till you find something you really love.
I think I think if I want to try anything, I wouldn't know if it's necessarily exercise. But I would love to try roller derby.
That would be fun.
You would be good.
You have to get out there and hit somebody and knock them down and roll around. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And it'd be a lot of exercise from what I can see. I got to plug up my laptop, y'all. Hold on just 1 second, okay?
Okay.
We have a lot of questions coming in tonight.
Yeah, I just noticed that when I looked over. So far, none of them say kettlebell in them, so I'm a little shocked.
Okay, Belinda, are you ready?
Woo. Yes, dear. Go ahead.
Okay. We have a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to move it along so that we can get as many answers as we can. Tony Yates asked, do you ever struggle with body image issues, like looking in the mirror and seeing the same person as when you started? Or are you able to accept and appreciate the new body?
I think that's a daily thing. Some days I can, some days I can't. Some days I can accept it, some days I can't. I just don't know right now. I mean, I'm still in the losing process, and I'm planning to have reconstructive surgery. But as of right now, I get up some mornings and I'll say, oh my Lord, have mercy, who would want to be with that? And then the other mornings I get up like, you know what? You done pretty doggone good. You look all right. Moving along. It's a day-to-day thing for me.
Well, we got a question that came in from Michael VSG, and he says, what would you say to someone that is almost 6 months out and hates food and is having a hard time eating?
Boy, you better make yourself eat. You better make yourself eat, because if you don't, you will not lose an ounce. So you've got to fuel your body. You have to. I mean, I had a point where I didn't want to eat anything either, and I had to make myself eat, even if it's just a cheese stick or just something. You've got to fuel your body, because you have to fuel it so you can move along, so that it can burn the energy and all that good stuff. Cleve knows more about all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Cleve, explain it to the boy. I don't know about all of it like you do.
I think you said it perfectly. You just have to fuel your body. What you're doing.
Yeah, you got to eat, Michael. You need to eat, dear. Just try to force yourself to eat if you can. I know it's hard, but you can do it.
Looks like Zen Maiden asked the same question, so you answered that. She was asking if there was times that you weren't hungry. So that question was asked and answered.
But the further out you go, at least it has been for me, Melody might understand a little bit, or maybe somebody else might too, but I can eat a lot more. And my appetite is a lot bigger than it used to be. So that there is for the struggle. When you get further along out in the journey with weight loss surgery, the struggle gets worse.
Looks like Tina, the Prairie Princess, asked, do you have anything special that you want to do when you reach your goal?
I had initially wanted to go rock climbing at an indoor rock climbing center, and I still think I would like to do that, because that looks like that'd be a lot of fun. I don't necessarily want to do the outdoor stuff yet, because I'm accident prone. I don't want to die.
We have a question from Lisa, And she says, what is your favorite go-to food?
Chicken. I
What kind of
absolutely
chicken?
love chicken because it's versatile. You can cook it any which 1,000 different ways. I mean, chicken is just the best for protein. It tastes good. Chicken. Y'all got to love some chicken. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, I love chicken. I'm with you on that. So, is there anything that you used to eat but you don't eat? I know that you try to eat what you used to and just practice moderation, but is there anything that you just say I have to stay away from?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff I say that I have to stay away from, but staying away from it is totally different. But I have to say it all the time. Because peanut butter is the devil.
Mm.
I have got to stay away from the peanut butter, man. One tablespoon and enough for me. I got to get that because Chuck, I make him peanut butter jelly sandwiches every day. And I go to Sam's and buy the great big containers, great big ones, because that's what he eats every day for lunch. And I have to have it in my house because I can't deprive him of having something he likes to have every day for lunch. So in the middle of the night, I get up in there and eat 2 or 3 tablespoons, and you know it's about 200 calories for 2 of those. So peanut butter, I say peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I used to hate peanut butter before surgery too, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, go figure.
Didn't know that was possible.
Oh yeah.
Belinda, I know that you and I have shared some things on YouTube as far as we get tired of the journey. And
Yes.
I just wondered, how do you get beyond that?
That's a hard question, Julie. I mean, I don't know. I take it day by day, minute by minute. I mean, you know, you're just not promised the next breath that you take. So, I mean, I try real hard not to focus on what's going to happen to me down the road or I just try to focus on the moment more than I do anything else. When I get in that point where, I'm tired of the journey, that and I come on here and I watch videos and I get re-inspired by everybody on here that's excuse my language, is kicking ass and taking names and making it happen. And when I see y'all doing that, I'm like, well, damn, I need to be doing that too. I can't be sitting here being tired of the journey. I'm just now starting. I'm not even 1 year post-op yet. I got to keep going. But it's hard.
We've all been following each other for quite a while now, though.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get on, you get sick of it. You get tired of having to look at every little thing. And just for me, I think it's like, I try to just change something up, whether it's one little thing, and just trying to make it more interesting, because it's really good when you're losing really good. It's really good. But then when it's bad and you're stuck, it's bad. Yeah. And you get tired and resentful. So I just wondered, how you move forward.
Well, that's the way I move forward. But I was going to ask you guys a question. I know you want to ask me stuff, but I sometimes have issues with thinking in my head, why do I even have to go through this journey at all? Why is this my burden in my life to have to deal with this? Why me? Do you guys ever think about that? Or does that ever cross your minds?
It has mine.
I've compared myself to other people and said, why can they eat what they want and I have to think about it? And here I am having to look at every little detail, and it is frustrating. It's why me? But at the same time, just because they get to eat what they want doesn't mean they're in good health, and we have to remember that.
No, that doesn't mean they're in good health, but you still, I don't know. It's part of the struggle, like we were talking about. I get tired. Just be tired of thinking, why do I gotta be going through this? Why did I not have enough self-control to be able to do this without having surgery? Right? It's a lot of stuff that I think about that I don't. Well, some stuff I think about that I don't necessarily make videos about.
What helps me is to focus on what I have gained. If I had never been overweight, never had a struggle with food, I wouldn't know half the people I've met on YouTube. Mm-hmm. My closest friends I've met on YouTube. And, I've inspired other people around me. And
absolutely.
I think it's made me stronger. It's such a part of me. I might be a totally different person. I might not be as humble as I try to be about when it comes to other people. And I just think it's shaped who I am, and I would be a completely different person had I never had to struggle with food. And so it's really important to remember the good things that have come out of your journey, because there's people that have never experienced it, and they're missing out on this weight loss community.
Amen.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well said.
Okay, Belinda, we have a lot of questions, so we're going to go to like a speed round. So
Okay.
I want you to answer the questions as much as you want to, but try to just answer that question, and then we're going to go on to the next one because we got a lot of questions backing up. The first one coming up in the speed round is going to come from Prairie Princess Tina. Is there something you can't eat anymore that you really miss since your surgery? Like you absolutely cannot eat it because you will be physically sick?
No. Next question. I don't know.
Julie,
I've been very lucky with my journey, where there's only one thing I want to try, and I'm going to hopefully try it next week. I'm going to have a soda.
Cool.
No judgment, people.
Just make a video and let us know how it turns out.
I will. My best friend, I told her I was going to, when I walked out of my post-op visit next week, I was going to pop a Coke in the car. And she goes, you better wait till you get home. I want to see you drink it.
See? And do it on camera. The next question comes from Zen. She wants to know, how much protein do you eat on average per day?
Usually somewhere between 70 and 80 grams is what I try to get in. That's usually what I can fit in.
Okay.
Some days more, but usually about 70 to 80.
Beth Fat to Fit wants to know, what is your worst enemy that pulls you off track?
Peanut butter. Peanut butter pulls me way off track, and I hate to even say it, but it does.
She said, and don't say peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, come on.
I saw that a couple lines later.
Let's see. I guess chocolate. Chocolate. That'd do it.
Sherry Ann asks, apart from weight loss, eating right, exercise routine, that's a large part of your life. What are some of the things you enjoy doing?
I love to scrapbook. I really love to scrapbook, and I don't know if you guys can see behind me or not. This little area right here. I'm a manicurist by trade, and I love to do acrylic nails, and I really enjoy doing that. And I love doing nail art, and I love scrapbooking. I love fishing. I actually like hiking now, so I like to do a lot of different things. I love watching movies. I love watching any kind of comedies. I love that. I can do that all day long and try to find me a healthy snack and sit down and watch a bunch of movies.
Well, then that fits into the next question perfectly. Michael VSG asks, what is your go-to snack?
Cheese sticks. Fit and Active cheese sticks from Aldi's. They are the best. They're only 50 calories and 8 grams of protein, and they taste fantastic. If they wouldn't clog me up, I'd eat them all day long. But they tend to do that.
Lisa says, what garment do you use for your excess skin or stomach, on your stomach?
I don't. Right now, I don't like using the control garments and all that. I don't like using that kind of stuff because it just makes me feel uncomfortable, and it makes me feel like people will know that I'm wearing it. And I just have a thing about it. Right now, I'm not doing anything, but just, as I like to say, I'm just free balling all over the place. Just things wherever it wants.
Beth, Fat to Fit asks, if you could do anything or go anywhere that you could not do before and can now, what would it be?
Oh, Lord. I like to go to Ireland. I like to travel because I'm part Irish, and I love anything Celtic, and I would love to go see the 40 Shades of Green in Ireland. I would love to do that, and I would, if I was financially able, I'm physically able to do that now, and that's what I would do. Who said they wanted to go to Ireland?
I did.
You did? Well, maybe we go together someday.
That's fine. We can do that.
Oh, yeah. We tear it up.
Tina, Prairie Princess 1 wants to know what the weather is like in Tennessee.
At the present moment, it's really muggy, and it's about 75 degrees.
Okay.
Deanna Bray has a question. She said, "Do you find it harder to motivate yourself now that you are farther from your surgery pertaining to exercise?"
Yes, I do. Again, it's a daily thing. Some days I get up and I'm all gung ho and I want to do it. Other days I get up, I was like, you know what, I'm not feeling it today, and I don't do it. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. But yeah, the further out you get, the more of a struggle it becomes, because it's getting into that routine, and you like you said, Julie, you want to do something different. If you could find different things to do all the time, then I probably wouldn't have a problem with dealing with that struggle daily about motivating myself to exercise. But you can only do so much stuff.
Zen Maiden asks, do you use distractions to keep from eating?
Do I what?
Use distractions.
TV sometimes is a distraction, sometimes, but not really. I don't think about that, about distracting myself. No. No.
Beth Factor Fit asks, how has your relationship with Chuck changed since you lost so much weight, if it's changed at all?
Well, it has changed. We're a lot kinder to each other, and we understand a little bit more better about each other, because he's losing weight with me, not watching me do it all, and him just staying stagnant in the place where he was at. He's moving forward with me. We're not staying. We're moving forward together. So yeah, it's changed in that aspect, and the physical stuff has changed too. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a relationship. I mean, I work at it just like everybody else works at theirs, but the weight loss has made a difference.
Belinda, it's about time for us to wrap it up, but I want to ask Julie and Khalif if they have any final questions for you.
No, I don't have any. At least none for on air.
I guess I do want to know this. Has your view of the scale changed since you've started your journey?
Yeah, I think it has. It used to really rule me. Now, I mean, I still weigh daily, and it does determine how my day goes, because I don't want to eat too much, because I don't want to see the scale go up. And I know a lot of people are going to give me a lot of flack about that, but that's just the way it is. That's my journey, and that's how it is. I weigh every day. That's what I do, and it determines what I do. But it ain't my boss. Ain't that right, Rob? It ain't my boss.
Right, it's your boss.
It ain't my boss.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Belinda, it's been amazing having you on the show. You're a wonderful person. I met you over a year ago, and we just bonded. And I remember the night that we were sitting on chatting before you were getting ready to go in for your surgery, talking about, a couple days before, what you were going to have for your last supper, and that you were scared. And we were just talking, going over that. And I mean, look at the difference now. I mean, amazing. So your story is incredible. You're an amazing person, and thank you so much for coming on Renew. It's been amazing.
Thank you for letting me be on here. I really was looking forward to it, and I'm so glad that I did, and thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Well, I want to come on again sometime.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that. All right, have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Whoop-oh.
Okay, and Khalif, next week you can announce who's coming on and about the season wrapping up and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, next week we're going to have Deanna Bray as our guest. Um, she has an amazing story. She has been through a lot in her weight loss journey on and off of YouTube. So it's something that you don't want to miss. And just seeing her tenacity and her strength is really something that I admire. So that's the 25th of June, next Tuesday. And that is actually going to be the last renewed show of the season, so you have to tune in for that. We're going to be doing things over the summer that we're going to announce next week, but next week is the final week of shows, and then we're going to start back up in September. We're going to take off for July and August. So I think Rob has...
And I wanted to let all the viewers know and everyone that follows me that I have made a decision that I will not be returning for season 2 of Renew. I will be starting my own show that's going to be called The Forum, and I will be putting a video out probably this weekend, just letting you guys know what it's going to be about. But I want to take a minute and thank Khalif for this wonderful opportunity to be a part of Renew for season 1. And sitting next to you and Julie has been absolutely amazing. I will definitely miss being on the show. But the Forum will serve as the sister show to Renew, and they're going to be 2 completely separate shows the way that they're ran, so it's going to help the community even more. And I just wanted to tell you guys, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, it meant so much for you to ask me to be on the show. You guys are great people, and this show is helping the community so much. And I know whoever joins us next season, that's going to be amazing and fun also. So thank you so much, you guys, for this opportunity that you gave me, and I'm really appreciative of it. Thank you.
Well,
thanks, Robbie. We'll miss you.
Yeah, that's all I can really say is that, we're going to miss you on the show, and, I was glad that you accepted and wanted to be a part of the show. And it's just been great having you on, working alongside you, seeing all the great ideas that you've come up with for the show, and even seeing your relationship with people in the community. The things we get to see behind the scenes that you do. So, it's just been great having you on, and great having you even support us.
And we'll be watching the Forum.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm trying to not say anything about the Forum until you do your video explaining everything, but I am excited for the format and excited for, everything that's involved with it.
Thank you.
And all right, everybody, so we're pretty much out of time, and just remember to go. If you weren't following Belinda before, make sure that you go follow her now, and we hope you guys have a good week. And like I said, tune in next week for the final show. The final show is actually, what I forgot to mention, is going to be an hour and a half long next week, and we're going to have Deanna Bray on for the first hour, and then the last half hour we're going to be recapping the first season. So you really don't want to miss that. And then we're going to announce how the summer is going to work out. So I think that's it. And have a good week. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night, everybody.